Dear students, today we are going to see another new concept called as integration. Usually it is said that integration is the reverse process of differentiation, but let us try to peek into the conceptual idea of the integration. So, let me suppose that I have a function given as y is equal to f of x, and if I try to plot the graph of this function, let us imagine that the value of x changes along this direction, and let me say my function varies along this direction, and the graph works out to be, say, like this. This is my function. So, this graph happens to be y is equal to f of x. Now, let me imagine that for this particular value of x, I say here the value of x is equal to a, and let me suppose here for this particular value of the function, the value of x is b. The value of x is b. Now, what I want is, I want to calculate the total area under this curve, or say total area bounded by the function y is equal to f of x. Now, how to do? Let us try to attempt first. See, if I had the graph like this, say y, x, and if I had the graph like this straight line, then straight away like this, I could have used the formula for calculating the area of rectangle, length into breadth, I will get the total area. But the problem is, here this is not a straight line, this is a curve. Had it been like this, if the graph had been like this, then also what I could have done to calculate the area under this graph, see, I could have splitted the area into two parts. I could have used the formula for calculating the area of a rectangle and area of a triangle, and I could have found the sum of the area of this rectangle and triangle to get the total area bounded by this straight line. However, my case is different, it is a curve. So, for this curve, I do not have any formula. So, what can I do? I am going to try with some innovative idea. So, what I am going to do is, I am going to divide the entire area under this curve y is equal to f of x into equal width of like this. Say I have divided this area into equal widths. In that case, now what I am going to do is, I see that this is one strip, this is second strip, this is third strip, like this I have divided the area. Then I see that at this particular value of a, that is when x is equal to a, for me this value is f of a. The value is f of a, and here I am going to draw one horizontal line. I am going to take this area. So, now if I calculate the area of this strip, I know that very small part of the area bounded by this entire strip I am going to miss out if I calculate the area of this rectangle. Next, if I see, what actually I have done is, I have divided this area into equal width. The width I am going to tell of each strip is delta x. Okay, del x, let me write like this, for each strip the width is del x. So, in that case, see at this point the value of x is going to be a plus del x. This value is going to be a plus del x for me. In that case, the value of y here, this is going to be f of a plus del x. In that case, if I draw the straight line, so this value, entire value is f of a plus del x. I am going to find what is the area of this strip. So I know if I calculate the area of this strip, I can easily calculate, because now this time this is a rectangle. So if I calculate, if I use the formula of rectangle, height into width, width is delta x, here height is f of a plus del x, I will get the area of this strip. However, this small portion of the area I am going to miss it out. Next, if I see, the value at this point is going to be a plus 2 times del x. In that case, here the corresponding value of the function is going to be f of a plus 2 times del x. And if I draw this horizontal line and I try to calculate what is the area over here, the area, definitely I will get the area of the strip, but very small amount of area I am going to miss it out. Then if I look for here the value of a, I mean x, the value is going to be a plus 3 times del x. And here the value, corresponding value will be f of a plus 3 times del x, and I can calculate the area of this strip. Similarly, I am going to have this value a plus 4 times del x, and the corresponding value I will have here like this, f of a plus 4 times del x, and I can use the area of rectangular formula and I can calculate the area, this one. I am going to miss this area, I am going to miss this value, this value, this value, and this value. So if I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, total number of strips I have 5. However, if I see here, the value here, it begins with a, and here you see the value is a plus 4 times del x. If 5 strips I have 4. So if I have n strips, then I am going to have n minus 1 into del x, this value. Okay. So what I have done, I have calculated the area of rectangles. Now my aim was actually to calculate the entire area under this curve. So now let me say the area under this curve is I. Now this I calculate what is the area of the first strip. So first strip, height is f of a, width is del x, so length into breadth. So length happens to be f of a, breadth is del x. So I got the area of the first strip. However, not exactly I have calculated the area under this curve, but some very small amount of area is being left out. So this is not the exact area, but however my aim is to calculate the area under this curve, and I am trying to calculate. Plus, when I look for the area of the second strip, for that the value of y is f of a plus del x. So this is f of a plus del x. So this is length of the strip, width is del x, which is a constant. Plus, if I look for third strip, I hope you are following. So this is a plus 2 times del x, plus for fourth strip, it is a plus 3 times del x. Here I need to multiply the width also. So del x plus f of 8 plus 3 times del x times width plus f of a plus 4 del x times del x. So therefore, this is the area, the entire area that I could calculate under this curve. Now if I ask a question, whether the area under this curve that I have calculated is exactly equal to this area? Definitely no. So, what I have done, I have divided this, see the width of the x axis here under this curve under which I am going to calculate the area, it is b minus a, and I have divided into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 strips. So, the width of each strip for me is del x is equal to b minus a over 5 strips. Similarly, now what I am going to do is, instead of dividing this area into 5 strips, let me divide into 10 and let me see. So, if I divide into 10 parts, here I am going to divide this one into 2, this one into 2 parts, this one into 2 parts, this one into 2 parts, and this one into 2 parts. So, when I divided the strips into more number of strips, then I see that, see here now, this area which actually I left out when the number of strips were less, now that is being included in the area calculation. So, similarly, if I see here, further the area is included, this part is included in my calculation. Here if I see this area is included in my calculation, and if I see here, this area is included. That means the amount of area left out has decreased. The amount of area left out has decreased when I increase the number of strips. So, this time I have made the strips to 10. So, if I calculate, now I am going to get, see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 strips, 5 terms I had, 10 strips I am going to have 10 terms. Similarly, for n strips I will be having n terms. So, what I presume is that if I go on decreasing the size of the strip, I am getting more nearer to the actual area under this curve. So, let me suppose that now I am going to divide the entire width b minus a into n number of strips. What is n? N is any number. Now, in that case I am going to get n terms. So, instead of writing like this, I say that this term continues. When I had 5 strips, I had here 4. Now, I have n strips. So, I would say that I am going to have the last strip a plus n minus 1 times del x. So, this will be the height into width. Now, I am going to write the entire expression in a condensed form, and that could be written as I is equal to, I am finding the summation, delta x is common for all. So, therefore, I say summation of I is equal to say 1 to n. N strips I have, I should have n terms, and I say here this is f of xi. So, this is function for me times del x is common for all. So, what is xi if we ask? Then the xi for me is a plus del x, this one, next a plus 2 times del x. This way the value of xi continues and it will end up a plus n minus 1 times del x. So, this is the value of a. Now, if we look at this carefully, we say this is the area under this curve between the limits a and b, However, we know if I increase the number of the strips, I said the area calculated using this method, that area is getting closer to the actual area under this curve. But then I know when I calculated this area is not exactly equal to the actual area covered under this curve in a span of A to B distance along x axis. So, thus I say, an idea comes to my mind, what if I increase the value of n to such a value that if I increase the value of n to infinity, that means I make the width of this strip very small. I know when the strip was very larger, the amount of area left out of the calculation was more. But as I was making the width of this strip smaller, the left out area from calculation was growing smaller and smaller. So, thus when I increase the number of strips to infinite in number, then the area that I am going to calculate will be approximately equal to the actual value under this curve, in a span from A to B. So, if I have number of strips very much larger, in that case when I have more number of strips, what will happen to the value of delta x? Delta x will become smaller and smaller. So, as n turns to infinity, del x will turn to 0. When we write delta x tends to 0, it means the value of actual delta x will never become 0, but the value of delta x is going to be very close to 0. That means now if you have a very small width of the strip, and if you calculate, the area, left out area will be too small, and when you calculate the area, the left out area or the error present in is not going to make much difference. So, therefore, if this is the case, then I can rewrite this expression as I is equal to, I would say that limit in this calculation delta x. So, I say delta x tends to 0. When I write delta x turns to 0, delta x will be very small only if the n increases to a huge number. So, it is known delta x tends to 0, it means n is increasing, and I can rewrite this as summation of I is equal to 1 to n. So, the value of n is very large. I have f of xi delta x. So, this time I have changed the symbol. With the change in the symbol or with an additional inclusion of a factor, it gives a totally different idea of the area calculation under this curve. Now, mathematicians do not like to write very long sentence. They always want everything into a condensed state called formula or symbols. So, therefore, this summation sign, we are doing the sum. So, therefore, it was decided, instead of writing every time writing these many lot of symbols, they said only one symbol we are going to write. The symbol is S, which is going to represent sum. So, it is an elongated S. If that is the case, then limit delta x tending to 0, this entire symbol is included within this. So, wherever or whenever you see this, it means that you have this much of information and you have f of xi. So, here I am going to write f of x, and this del x, since it is very small, already we have seen in case of differentiation, I am going to write it as dx, f of x dx. So, this is read as I is equal to integration of f of x dx. So, integration means what we are doing? We are finding the sum of the area of small strips. Now, if you calculate the sum of the area of all the small strips that you could make under this curve, that means this curve can extend up to infinity. So, you need to say the limits from which point to which point under this curve along x axis you are trying to calculate this entire area, and that is what we call limit. In that case, the limit we specify here, the limit happens to be a to B, A to B, and therefore this is the symbol, and hopefully you understand the meaning. So, when we write I is equal to integration of f of x dx within limits a to b, this is called lower limit, this is called upper limit. Now, with this method, so this is the actual conceptual idea of calculating area under this graph. Now, we shall calculate as an example area of a trapezium. So, dear students, now let us apply the conceptual idea of integration to calculate the area for the graph that already I have drawn. So, this is the graph y and x axis. The function is f of x is equal to x, or rather I can write y is equal to straight away x, otherwise f is equal to f of x is equal to x, both will do. Now, what I am going to try is to take one limit here, say this is a, I want to try another limit here, and I want to see what is here, it is b. So, I want to calculate the total area from a, b, say this is p, this is q. So, I want to calculate the area of a, b, p, q, which is a trapezium, So, for that I want to divide this entire area into n strips of equal width, which we already studied, called as delta x. So, for me delta x is equal to b minus a over n, or I shall write b minus a is equal to n into delta x. This is first. Second, I have seen that the area calculation, I say area of trapezium I is equal to, I know that when I divide, so this will be f of a times del x, f of times a del x, plus for the second strip f of a plus del x times del x. This will continue up to a plus 2 del x times del x, plus this will continue up to f of a plus n minus 1 times del x times del x. So, this is going to be the area for me. If that is the case, then if I take out this delta x outside, because it is common in all the expressions, then I am going to have f of a plus f of a plus del x plus f of a plus 2 times del x plus f of a plus n minus 1 times del x, say this is the case, del x. And in that case, I know that for me f of x is equal to x. So, when I have the value of x as a, then when I put a, so f of a is a for me. So, I is equal to, see, at the place of x I have a. So, when I put at the place of x as a, so f of a is a for me. So, a plus, since I have chosen the graph cleverly, y is equal to x. So, here I have a plus del x. So, f of a plus del x is also going to be a plus del x for me. So, therefore, I say this is a plus del x, plus similarly I am going to have a plus 2 times del x plus a plus n minus 1 times del x times del x. Now, if I look into the brace, curly brace, I see there that this is arithmetic progression, and the sum of the arithmetic progression happens to be the number of terms by 2 into first term plus last term. In that case, if I use that formula to find the sum of this arithmetic progression, so the number of terms I am going to have is n, because I have divided this area into n strip. So, number of terms over 2, sum of the first term is a and the last term is this. So, therefore, here I am going to have last term is a plus n minus 1 into delta x times this delta x, this delta x. Now, if I open this bracket, what I would get is this is equal to n over 2 times a plus n delta x minus delta x times del x. This is the case. Now, here this del x, if I bring in, so therefore, I am going to have I is equal to n times del x over 2 a plus I can write 2a. I can write this as 2a plus n del x minus del x. Rather say what I have done is I have opened this brace, I have brought in del x. Now, if I see what is n del x, already I know n del x is b minus a. So, therefore, I write this is equal to b minus a over 2, and if I see this is 2a plus n del x, which is equal to b minus a. So, here I am writing, for me it is b minus a minus del x. Now, evaluating this expression, I have b minus a over 2. I open this bracket, so this is 2a plus b minus a minus del x. So, minus a to a. So, I am having a. So, I am going to rewrite this expression as I is equal to b minus a over 2 times b plus a minus del x. So, this is the area that I have calculated for the trapezium. However, I want to increase the number of steps to infinity. In that case, I would write like this: I limit del x tends to 0, I will have b minus a over 2 times b plus a minus del x. So, as I have decreased the width to nearly equal to 0, so in my calculation, even if I am going to neglect this del x, it is not going to make much difference. So, thus if I do this, I am going to have I is equal to b minus a into b plus a over 2, which is going to be I is equal to b square minus a square over 2. But then here this is the sum of this quantity, I mean all small strips. So, the summation sign what I had earlier, I have already calculated the sum. So, this is sum. When I took the limit, this is actually nothing but integration of this function x dx. So, this I for me conceptually in the last time we saw, when I say this is equal to integration of the function f of x. So, f of x is x for me. So, therefore, this is x, delta x will turn dx. So, x dx, my limit is from a to b, which I have evaluated to be b square minus a square over 2. Now, when I look at this expression, I am getting a shortcut. What I presume is, when we do integrate expressions of this kind, so here it is power 1. So, when we integrate this one, what we do is x power is 1. So, we are going to add 1 with the power, and whatever the quantity that we get new power, we are going to place it in the denominator. So, therefore, we have x square over 2, and we say these are the limits. So, we place the limits from lower limit to upper limit, and now we say we have to put the limits. So, when we put limit, in the place of x we will put the upper limit. So, upper limit is b and x squared. So, b squared minus, then again in the place of x we will put the lower limit. So, a square by 2 I have in the denominator. So, the value that I am going to get, this is same as that of this. So, therefore, to do integration, the basic formula that we employ is integration of x power n dx if we have. Then what we do is we write x power n. So, with the power we are going to add 1. We are doing the reverse process of differentiation, and at the denominator we will divide this one with n plus 1. So, this is the formula that we are going to use for doing integration. Dear students, let us wind up this session today, and in the next class we shall solve some of the problems based on integration, and we shall see how trigonometrical ratios can be used as a function, and we will integrate those functions. Till then, bye. Thank you very much.